everybody else's pain? Are you preoccupied with everybody else's pain? Do you get yourself involved in other people's suffering? And I want you to think for a moment, just right now, how do you feel? Is what you're feeling right now does it belong to somebody else? Think back to the last time you were upset or you felt sick all of a sudden, sick to your stomach, nauseated. All of a sudden you got a headache. All of a sudden you got anxiety. Was that yours or was that somebody else's? If you're like me and like other spiritual people, women, healers, um, you're that person who can walk into a room and you instantly feel the weight of everyone else's emotions. Or maybe you're that person who you listen to a friend and they're venting about their problems. And by the time they're done venting, you feel like you've just been shit upon and you're exhausted. All right. This is a problem. Okay. You are you're an you're an empath. And that's why I'm calling today's live stream the dark side of being an empath. So my name is Crystalline Bell, and I'm the founder of Badass Butterfly Spiritual Life Coaching. And when I was a kid, I was not only empathic, I was highly intuitive, and I would have these incredible visions and dreams, and they would tell me about things that were going to come in the future, usually in the near future. So I was getting bombarded energetically from the out here and from life, from the three-dimensional world. Okay. So my work today is with women who are a lot like me. Not everybody is this sensitive, but the fact of the matter is I tend to work with women who take on a lot. All right. My job is to help them become certified as spiritual life coaches or life coaches in their particular niche, and I help them set up their business. Now, before I get into today's live stream, I want to let you know that I'm hosting a free masterclass tomorrow night. It's at 8:30 p.m. and it's called Holding Space for Trauma. And it's really important because I'm going to be looking very deeply at what's happening with sensitive people, okay? Empaths, sensitive people, those of you who just feel your feelings, okay? You are affected by the psychic debris. You are, you understand what's happening or you get bombarded by what's happening in the 3D and also in the 4D. So we're going to be looking at what's going on with you, and I'm going to give you my very own special formula that's going to help you create a really supportive force field that will shield you from taking on energy that is not your own. So there's a link to join this masterclass, okay, which is going to be tomorrow. If you cannot join it live, that's okay. There will be a replay available for 24 hours. So just get yourself signed up, and then all you have to do is listen to the replay. All right. Now, being highly sensitive. Oh, I forgot to say, if you're watching live, please in the comments type hashtag live. And if you're catching the replay, type hashtag replay. And it also helps to give the video a thumbs up and to leave a comment. It's super helpful. So please do that. Thank you. Um, Right. So being highly sensitive and deeply attuned to the emotions of other people is a gift. Let's face it, not everybody is like this. Okay. It's a gift. It allows you to connect deeply. It allows you to hold space for healing. And it allows you to be really compassionate as a guide with your clients, with your friends, with your family, with your children. It allows you to be really connected. Okay. But this gift, as you know, okay, can actually take over and it can leave you feeling overwhelmed, exhausted, and burdened by emotions that don't even belong to you. So I remember working with one of my students, Coletta, and she was going through a really tough period where she could barely leave her house because she hadn't learned to guard and protect her energy. And look, her astrological chart was off was off the chart. But she just had a lot of vulnerabilities. She was a Virgo, but she had a Pisces rising and she had her moon in Cancer, and there were all these powerful aspects. And, she was destined to be a spiritual leader, but it's like she couldn't really deal. She had a lot of femininity in her chart. She has a grand trine in her chart, in a water in water and the water element. So she has a lot. I know that that's super astrological stuff, but what it basically means is um it was really difficult for her to be like in her power without being highly influenced by everyone around her. Empathic and highly sensitive people really tend to give themselves away too often, and they sell themselves out in the process. Now, if you are going to be a spiritual life coach and you want to be able to be in your power, even if you want to be a healer, especially if you want to be a healer, you have to really learn how to manage. Otherwise, you risk burnout before your coaching practice even takes off. So let's look at why empaths absorb other people's pain. It's not just that you feel deeply, it's that empaths process emotions differently. So when someone is in pain, you don't just hear it, you don't just intellectualize it. An empath will actually experience it in their body. And so, if you're an empath, your nervous system is incredibly sensitive. You pick up on subtle emotional cues. You can pick up on body language, you can pick up on energy shifts, and you could even be like me, where you're intuitive and you're kind of psychic and you're just seeing things. Let's just face it. You could be seeing the things, and seeing those things, it makes you take on the things that you're seeing. Like, and it's not all with your eyes. Look, I want to stay on point, but it can be like getting downloads. Okay. Sometimes, you talk to a person and you just see their stuff. And that can be really difficult. If you see someone and all of a sudden you're seeing their vulnerabilities, it's very, very powerful. It's and it's not always easy, especially when it's your job. And look, to be honest with you, it's a lot easier for me to deal with the vulnerabilities when I'm at work because it's my job to do it. I get paid to deal with the vulnerabilities. So this is a part of my process that I'll be talking about in the master class. Um, but it's much more difficult to witness and experience those vulnerabilities when you're not on the job, when you're just dealing with someone and their stuff is so clear. And you're like, gosh, it makes me so uncomfortable sometimes because, especially when they are in that insecure place and they don't want their stuff to be seen, they're intimidated, they're on a job interview, they are, they're trying to you're just intimidating them. They're interviewing you, you're on their podcast, and they are so uncomfortable because their stuff is coming up. It's just very, very challenging. So, yes, this is part of being empathic, right? And part of our job is to learn how to be empathic, see the stuff, and to allow the person who's there to have their dignity, without you trying to fix them, without you trying to cringe away. This is just in real life where it can be really challenging. And I think what I'm just going to kind of say, and I don't want to put myself separate from you, but I'm just going to say this again. It's a lot easier for me to do this in my work and to be with people in my work dealing with the vulnerabilities because that's my job. So when people come with their shit, it's my job to help them deal with it. I can deal with it. It's a lot easier for me to manage my empathy in this situation. Whereas in a different situation outside of work, it becomes very, very challenging. And if you can relate to what I'm saying, just drop me some love in the comments, please. So, another reason why it's so difficult for empaths, it's kind of what I was just saying, it's because you're wired to help. You're a natural healer. You want to be a life coach, you want to be a healer, you want to help people, you want to heal the world, right? You want to make things better, you want to ease suffering, you want to bring people into the light. But again, too often you do this at your own expense. This is another one. Here's another issue. You weren't you weren't taught boundaries, but if you're like me, you were not allowed to have boundaries. So, um, you were probably an emotional caretaker. You were the emotional caretaker in your family, and you were probably absorbing other people's emotions when you were a kid, okay? And you were probably praised for being so understanding, like you got good feedback for that. Everybody came to you and that felt good, but no one taught you how to separate your energy from others. And maybe when you stood up for yourself and you tried to take time for yourself, maybe you got criticized, or maybe that you were met with anger or lashed out at or given a guilt trip, right? So while your empathy and your sensitivity makes you an incredible coach and a healer, it also comes with some serious downsides. It's that your energetic field gets weighed down and clogged and blocked. All right. So I've got a few signs to help you recognize whether or not you are taking on too much energy. So I think I have like 4 signs or 5 signs to help you know if you're taking on too much emotional energy. Number one, you feel drained or exhausted after interacting with certain people. Now, it's not all people, okay, but it's a certain person or a certain type of person. This person drains your energy. You can see it coming. You can feel your energy. Maybe you have a little hot flash. Maybe you experience some anxiety before you meet them. And it's because that person is an emotional vampire and they are sucking your life force energy. All right. That happens a lot with sensitive people and with empaths. Now, the thing that you have to do, the next thing, number 2, is understanding that you're probably carrying around a lot of sadness, anxiety, and frustration that doesn't belong to you, but you're also carrying around beliefs that don't belong to you, beliefs and um, ideas and mindsets that aren't actually supposed to be yours. And these are things that we can inherit from our family. We can get these passed on from our family. We can take these on from all kinds of people. Usually it's authority figures that pass these on, but you have to kind of learn to understand that these things are not actually real for you. It might have been real for them, but they don't actually have to be real for you. This is a part of an empath. It's not that we don't have a mind of our own, it's just that we are connectors. And so connecting is what we do. And one of the ways we connect is by allowing people in to ourselves. This is why we can also experience a lot of codependency. Number three, you struggle to disconnect from another person's emotions, like from your clients. So after the session is over, you might struggle to disconnect. After talking to a friend and they're going through a challenge, you might struggle to be able to, like, once that conversation's over, you might be drained and you're not able to move into the next thing that you need for yourself. You're not able to move on so easily. Okay. Um, number four, you feel responsible for fixing people and their problems. And I'm really a culprit. Look, this is one reason why my coaching and certification program is built the way that it is, because for me, I've made the decision to walk my students through this business building process. I am not that coach who just lets people struggle through it. Hey, watch the video. Hey, just watch the video, show up to, the group session. There are 20 people on, and I'm going to give you, 10 minutes of coaching, and I'll see you next week, or I'll see you in 2 weeks. That's not my style. Okay. But, but for me, I'm deliberately doing it this way in my business where I am hands-on and I'm helping people deal with their own shit while they're trying to build their business, because while you're building your business, it is shit. So that's why my certification program is the way it is. But I also make sure that I get paid for that. So when people invest to work with me, they know they're getting the support that they need. All right. And this is also why I don't work with everybody. I don't invite everyone to come into my program, because if you're not emotionally ready to take on building your business, I'm not going to invite you to work in my program. Okay. So that is a boundary that I have established. Okay. I feel responsible for fixing, not for fixing people, because my people don't need to be fixed, but I do take on responsibility. If you come into my program, I'm meeting you there with a level of responsibility toward delivering the information that I'm providing and making sure that I'm clear, right? So in that way, I take on this responsibility. Now, for you in your personal life, you might find yourself taking on responsibility for people's emotional baggage that they are not handling themselves. And I see it all the time. I see it in people who are, this person is struggling over here and they're busy not living their own lives, but instead they're focusing on these other people. This is another problem with being an empath and being highly sensitive. You put everybody else's needs above your own, but then it becomes that you do that um, so that you don't have to take on your own life. And this is a problem. You learned how to do that as a child, and it goes into adulthood. Now, the number five way that you can know that you are taking on too much stuff from other people is that um, you need a lot of alone time to recover after social interactions. Like you can't just be like, oh, I'm good. Like you feel like drained. I have to go. Like you were in a crowd and you were like, all right, I got to get out of this crowd. I'm done. It's like because you're taking on too much stuff. So if you are kind of nodding along and you're like, yep, that's me, well, don't worry. There is a way to shift this so that your gift of empathy empowers you instead of depleting you. Now, again, I want to remind you that on Wednesday night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time, okay, so that's going to be 12 o'clock. No, no, sorry, hold on. I want to make sure I get the times right. Sorry, y'all. I don't know if I told you the time wrong earlier. Hopefully, my ladies who are helping me with the live stream corrected me. But if I said it was at 12, that is wrong. It is at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. So Wednesday night, uh, that's tomorrow, okay? Tomorrow night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That is going to be February the 12th, all right, at 8:30. I'm going to be hosting the Holding Space for Trauma Masterclass. It's absolutely free. And I hope you're going to join me because I'm going to give you this incredible way to help you feel so good about being of service. You're going to be able to be of service, but you're going to feel empowered and energized as opposed to drained and laying out on the floor. Like, oh my God, I got to take 3 days off. I've heard so many people say that. I really need to take so much time off because I did this session and it was 2 hours. And I'm like, why did you do a 2 hour session? That's not good. It's too much, you know? But this is what I mean about not establishing boundaries. But anyway, we'll talk about this more tomorrow. Now, for today, I want to leave you with a couple of tips or a few tips so that you can learn how to stop absorbing people's pain without losing your compassion. And here's the secret. You don't have to actually shut off your empathy. You just have to learn how to channel it properly. So, number one, you want to strengthen your energy field. So, your aura is like an energetic immune system. If it's weak, other people's emotions will stick to you like Velcro, okay? But if it's strong, negativity will be repelled. It'll just bounce right off. So, here are some ways to strengthen your energy. Now, look, we have a cheat sheet for you, but we're going to give it out in the master class tomorrow night. All right. So if you want the cheat sheet, you can get it in the master class tomorrow night, but it's going to give you all these ways. I'm giving you some tips in the cheat sheet to help you do these things that I'm going to show you. So uh, I've got 3 ways for you to strengthen your energy field, and these will be in the cheat sheet. So number one, you want to do some daily grounding practices. So, like walking in nature, doing some meditation, doing breath work. You can also do energetic protection rituals, like visualizations that help you step into a more empowered place. And of course, doing something like using like smudging or using essential oils. All right. Now, the second way to help you stop absorbing other people's junk is to um, master the art of holding space. Okay. And of course, this is what we're going to be doing tomorrow in the workshop or the master class. But holding space doesn't mean taking on someone's pain. And I think this is kind of the mistake that people make in their thinking. They think that being a healer, being a coach means that you're taking on someone's pain, but that's not true. Holding space means being stable, being a grounded presence that allows healing to happen without making it a personal burden. Now, a great mantra is I am a channel for healing, not a container for pain. Okay. That's just kind of a little thing you can repeat to yourself to help you understand that, look, I am a channel for healing, but I don't hold pain because you will feel, you're an empath. You might feel the pain moving through you. But that doesn't mean that you have to hold on to it like I'm a container. I'm a container for the pain. No, you're a channel. Let it move through you and out because that's what spirit wants it to do, right? And that's what your clients wanted to do. They're not trying to give you their pain. Oh, Crystalline, carry this for me. Nobody wants you to do that. Nobody says that. They want the help. Okay, they're just trying to get better. So you be the channel that where it moves through. Send it down into the earth, down to the core where it can be burned up in the core of the earth. That's what that's all about. Okay, so that's going to be the mantra to use. Now, setting boundaries is the best way to take care of yourself. Many empaths struggle with boundaries because they're afraid that they're going to be cold or unkind. And oh my God, I remember trying to set boundaries in the beginning of this when it was ah that look. People would look at me like, oh, you're setting a boundary. And then some people would be really mad at me for setting boundaries. And I took that on. That's the nature of an empath. That person's mad because I set a reasonable boundary. I allowed their anger to become a part of me. Classic empath, classic sensitive. That is so unnecessary. That is a repairable thing. I'm going to teach you how to do that I'm going to teach you how to do that in the master class. Okay. All right. So I want you to understand that setting boundaries is actually an act of love. All right. It's love for yourself, obviously, but it's also love for the other people. It's love for the people you're serving, and it's love for that person who doesn't understand boundaries and thinks that you're harming them. It's a way of showing them, hey, I have boundaries. You should have boundaries as well. And I can set this boundary and be better for you when I see you. And if you respect my boundary, it's a way of empowering me and opening the door for me to give you more love in a way that's healthy for me, which is ultimately going to be healthy for you, right? That's what's really going on. So, what are some ways to set boundaries in your coaching practice? Setting good time limits for your sessions and not letting them run over is excellent. Okay. It's self-love. All right. Respecting people's times. Yes, absolutely. Getting your time respected. Yes. All right. So when you're doing another way is energetic cutoffs for your rituals. So making sure that you have some kind of a cutoff for your clients that allows you to end. You don't have to share this with your clients, but you can. And when I'm doing energy work with my clients, I definitely do. I have to, because that's a really obvious way. When I'm doing more secular work, we're working on business plans and things like that. I don't do a formal energetic cutoff. I have one that is already that I do, but I don't necessarily share it with my clients. But you'll get a glimpse of that in the master class tomorrow. Um, Saying no also is another great way to establish this. Saying no to people and situations that leave you drained and doing it with um with love is very powerful. Oh, and I have one more. Leading with strength and compassion. So many healers worry that if they don't feel everything really deeply, they're not going to be as effective. But really, the best coaches and healers are the ones who stay rooted in their own strength. And really, this is the core of what I'm going to be talking about tomorrow. Just remember that your job isn't to drown in your client's emotions. Your job is to be their rock. So when you stand firm, you actually will become the guiding light for their healing journey. So, what's your next step? Your next step is to join me for my masterclass tomorrow night. Okay? Holding space for people's pain is a part of the job of being a life coach and a healer, but giving away your life force energy is not. And too many coaches absorb their clients' emotions and they feel drained after sessions. They struggle to set boundaries because they're afraid of seeming uncaring. And the worst part is they don't even realize this until they burn out. I'm a culprit of this. And, if you've experienced burnout, I'd love to learn about that. Tell me in the comments, okay? But this is why I'm teaching this in my Holding Space for Trauma masterclass. In this training, I'm going to show you how to be a strong, grounded leader. Um, Without taking on the emotional baggage of your clients or of your friends, of your family, whoever is draining you. Okay, I'm going to show you how to love them, but also take care of yourself. All right, so you're going to learn how to stay fully present in your sessions without feeling emotionally drained. You're going to learn how to set strong boundaries without feeling guilt and people pleasing. And you're going to learn how to lead with both strength and compassion so that your clients feel safe and seen and supported. And you're going to learn my very simple, effective energy clearing practice to help keep yourself balanced. You don't have to feel exhausted. You don't have to feel exhausted after your sessions, my friend. You don't have to carry around other people's pain as if it's your own. And you don't have to choose between being a strong leader and a compassionate one. You can actually be both. All right. So join me for the masterclass and learn how to hold space the right way without losing yourself in the process. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and sign off. It's getting dark out there. It's getting dark. I didn't turn light on in the back. Oh, all right, friends. I will see you. I'll see you at the next live stream and I'll see you in the masterclass. All right. Bye for now. Bye, friend. Bye.